Hey everybody, number 8 video in this series. I have no idea how many parts we're actually doing, but we are going to get all these questions answered. 10 minutes on the clock. Start going. Sam Amighi, why do you not use weightlifting shoes when you squat? Have you ever tried them? Thoughts on weightlifting shoes in general? I answered this in the last one, but basically I am more comfortable wearing the Chucks, and I don't need weightlifting shoes to hit my depth. Anytime I'm not hitting depth, it's because of me, not because of my mobility issues, and so I just am more comfortable without them. Harrison Histern, hello there, Ben. For a novice that wants to become a powerlifter, have trained responsibly for 9 months, do you suggest them jumping on a powerlifting routine or stick to a higher rep range to build a sufficient base? Don't have a solid answer for you on this one, Harrison. If you're feeling, I like to tell people to try different things. If you feel like jumping on a program and having it laid out and giving that a shot, go for it, man. You're only going to learn through time. Just make sure you give yourself enough time over the course to kind of see if it's working for you, and just be honest with your assessment of how your progress is going. If what you're doing right now is working for you, keep doing it. There's no reason not to. Ride that progress as long as you can. Another question. Also, have you ever had ankle mobility issues, and if so, how have you worked or maintained it? This would be a better question to ask someone like Kelly Starrett, Mobility.Why. Really, there are different stretches that you have, but work on your calf. Get the calves nice and limbered up, and then work on your ankle mobility. Go check out some of those movements. I'm sure they're somewhere around YouTube specifically. Or you could look into some powerlifting shoes. Those tend to help people who have mobility issues when it comes to squatting for depth and things like that. Marcus Moreland, basic principles of programming. It sounds like a specific question, but it's kind of vague when it comes down to what you really want to know. Most programs take into account 3 factors: your frequency of training, your volume of training. Frequency is how often you're training the lifts. Volume is how many sets or reps you're doing over the course of the workout. And then intensity, which is normally based off of the percentage of a maximal effort. And I like to break that last thing into 2 different things. I call intensity things that would include stuff like rest restriction, or how intense the effort is being put into, because you can make a lightweight really hard if you do it a certain way with different ranges of rest restriction and dynamic effort imposed on the bar, as opposed to loading, which I would call the weightlifting thing. So for me, I take in those 4 accounts, and then it's about balancing them. If you have something that's like super intense or super high loaded, you can't have as much volume. Your frequency can be pretty high, but you have to take into account, if you're doing high volume, high frequency, high intensity every single session, you're going to burn out a lot faster, and so you have to balance them a lot, and it just takes practice and getting to know it. But most programs are going to use those 3 keys, and the one that I do has those 4 considerations taken into account. David Liang, why do you love powerlifting, and what is your reason behind it? I love powerlifting because it has been a way for me personally to get to know myself. I have never learned more about myself than when I have a goal that I am making myself work towards over a period of time. It tests your commitment, your dedication to a focused purpose, and it gives you discipline in your life. You cannot be successful at this if you are undisciplined in other aspects of your life. You may get good at it, but you cannot be truly great at it if you are not focusing around the things that you need to do to find that success. And it's been really key to me. It's been a great focus point for my life. It's been something that has brought in all these other aspects, and I'm a better person. I'm a better son, I'm a better boyfriend, I am a better student, I am a better friend, because this is in my life, and I have learned about myself through the struggle and through the grind that I have and the effort that I've put into this, and I will go on record saying that. David again, if you had negative people in the past that all of a sudden changed their attitude towards you once you became successful, what would you do to those people? I strive to treat everyone that I encounter with respect and with the intention of being a positive force in their life, regardless of whether or not you think they deserve it, regardless of whether or not you think they're genuine. You can't control the way that people treat you. You can only control the way that you interact with them and the way that the energy that you give out to them. And so if you strive to make every encounter that you have a positive one, then it doesn't matter what they do or what their intentions are or how disingenuous they might be. All that matters is the way that you're treating them, and keep that level consistent. If you treat everyone with respect and with courtesy of their opinions, feelings, emotional situation, you will find most of your encounters are better regardless of what their intentions are. One more question from David. How do you get so much leg drive out of the bench? I see you use the maximum amount and I don't even get that much out of leg drive. The biggest tip that I ever got from people when it came to leg drive is don't think of it as pushing your hips up. Think of it as like a leg extension where you're pushing yourself back on the bench. And that is how I have gotten the most use of it. I know a lot of people will also say if you get your heels on the floor and dig in and push through your leg that way, you get more. I haven't figured that out myself. I'm a tuck bencher. I'm on my toes with a big arch for me, and driving back the whole time. And the biggest thing for me is making sure that you coordinate the pop from your chest or that explosion from your upper body with the leg drive at the same time, because if they're out of sync with each other and your coordination's off, then the lift is going to be less successful and you're not going to utilize all that power you're generating from your hips and your legs in the bench press. Mauro Franklin. What's up, Ben? Love your videos. You're a huge inspiration. Thank you, Mauro. Around 24 hours after I do a high volume squat workout, 3 times 10 reps or something like that, I get a sharp pain, not the usual soreness, in the upper part of my hamstring lower glute, and I can barely walk for the next 4 to 5 days. Is this normal, and should I stop being is there some way I could address this keeping the volume, or should I just go back to squatting low reps? I might get that checked out, because not being able to walk for 4 or 5 days is pretty extreme. Something that you might try if it's occurring because you're not used to that level of volume and you are trying to adapt to it. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is not to be considered medical advice. Please don't think that I am in a position where me telling you this is not medical advice by any means. A lot of the time I find that people who have real pain when they're squatting are not they're taking so long in between their squat sessions that they're not allowing themselves to adapt to that discomfort, and they are interpreting soreness that comes from that kind of training to pain. And so I would do a little experiment where maybe you lighten up the reps even more and do some volume, and then wait a couple of days and then do another set of do some more squats, and see if doing that a couple of times helps to bring up your ability to handle it. Because if you're squatting heavy, I mean, unless there's a form breakdown that's pretty significant, you shouldn't feel you shouldn't feel pain when you're squatting, after squatting. You shouldn't be able to not walk for 4 or 5 days. That's pretty extreme and definitely not a healthy thing. And if that's an issue, you should definitely get that checked out. Kostas Theocharis. Hey, Big Ben, do you feel that powerlifting has improved your sex life? I'm going to be a buzzkill, guys, and say that that's something that I'm not really comfortable talking about with the world. And I will say that it really shouldn't affect you guys one way or the other, any information about that particular aspect of my life. So yeah, thanks for your interest, but we're just not going to talk about that. And this next question looks pretty lengthy, so I'm going to leave it at that actually and cut this one about 30 seconds short. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We are still doing getting all these questions answered. And I think we're past the halfway point, so that's good news, right? Woohoo! Next video going to be coming out soon. Pay attention for that. I hope you guys have kept interest in these and are liking them. And I definitely can't do these as often as I would like to, just because it's such a big amount of effort on my part. But I hope you're enjoying them. So I will talk to you next time. Peace.